Right, how are we getting on? Happy New Year. So back in the workshop, had a busy time over Christmas, so I thought I'd just start this year and put a little bit more stuff out to help you if you feel like you ever want to do any repairs at home, but obviously it's easier if you give it to an expert. So I've got a set of the Apex Pro irons and some wedges, and we're swapping over the shafts. So I've already taken the old ones out. When you have pulled shafts, you have to prep the new ones. So there's glue in the end, you have to drill it out, I have to regrind the tip, put new ferrules on. So I've done all of that, and they're ready to be glued. So I've got 9 irons to do, ready to go. I'll just mix some glue. So I'm using a glue which is about an hour because I've got to get them finished today. Like I've always said, if you use glue that sets longer, it's better for higher ball speeds. These are the NS Pros stiff, so they'll be alright with an hour. I think if they're extra stiff, I'd leave them overnight. So we're going to get some glue out. Sorry about my voice, I lost my voice over the weekend. Still not feeling 100%. So I'm now going to mix the glue. It's not overly cold in here today, so it's 15 on my temperature, but I like to sort of heat up the glue a little bit. I've just got a little air heater and I just sort of heat the glue up while I mix it. Just feel like it helps it get off to a better start. So I'm just mixing it together. Glass beads. I'll put quite a bit in there because I've got a whole set. I'll probably have to remix some more glue, but we'll see. So glass beads will help them centre the shafts, and I think it helps them set a little bit faster. So I'm just giving it a good mix. There's quite a lot of glue here, but like I said, I am doing a whole set. So that's probably a good minute I've been mixing that, so that's good, that's all ready to go. Sorry, a cup of tea. Might lose my voice doing this. Okay, so I've got the 5 iron, and there's a little bit of play because it's a parallel hosel and a taper shaft. I've tested it already, it's not quite enough for a shim. So a shim is one of these. Hang on, I've got 2 stuck together here. There we go. Right, so this is a shim, and what that would do, that would go over the shaft and then go on. Yeah, but it's not quite enough on this. So something I learnt a long time ago, I'm now going to use a bit of fishing wire on the end. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple of bits. It's going to be like a crisscross at the end, and then it'll be really tight as I put it in. It's not quite enough for a shim, so I need to have something in there, so fishing wire is good. Problem with this is you put it down and you lose where you've put it. So I'm got 2 bits just over 1 inch long. So I've got 2 bits just over 1 inch long. Put that somewhere where I won't lose them. Sorry. The work time on this glue is probably about ½ an hour, so I've got a bit of time to make sure I get everything in place. So remember with glue, less is more. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit into the hosel. Should still be able to see the bottom, so it's just around the edges, it's not filled up. And put a little bit on the end of the shaft, so a tiny bit on the end. And with that bit on the end, I've now got enough so I can place 1, 2. Oh, there we go. That's why we have a spare bit. There we go, we'll put a second bit on, it just didn't stick. There we go. So you can see that, a couple of bits on. Try and get them as centre as possible. When you get your club head, and you pop that on, and that's pretty tight. All the way in. Okay, wipe the excess off. I'm not spine aligning these, so the writing goes up the back. So make sure that's all lined up. Give it a tap. Just checking it. So that's all lined up at the back. Give it a tap. Give it another wipe. And that is seriously firm. There's no wiggle room in that at all. That is on there with the shafting beads. It's a really good fit. Pop out there. Now let's do the others. Right. I'll fast forward this bit. Right, okay, so that's sorry, another cup of tea. That's 6 irons done, so that's the 5 to the pitching wedge. So I'm now onto the wedges. I've got a gap wedge, sand iron, and a lob wedge. So these are okay to have shims. So like I said, this is a taper shaft into a parallel hosel. So parallel is exactly what they are, parallel. So they're 0.370 of an inch, and taper at 0.355 of an inch. So there's a little bit of a gap at the bottom. So what this does is we put that on there. It's one of those things you can't get. So in a minute I'm trying to get, you got all these little spikes, you've got to try and get the shaft in the middle. See how like one keeps on going down. There we go. So that's all the way around now. Okay. I can now push it in and I don't need the fishing wire. That's a shim that'll do it. So I'll pop the old glue in. So glue in. I'll now take it off and put some glue around the end. So glue's around the end. Pop the shim over. There we go. So that's all the way around. I put a little bit of glue on the outside, just for good measure, so a tiny bit of glue on that. And now that will go on. You can hear a bit of a pop, which means it's a good seal. Line up the shaft, give it a tap, wipe the excess glue off. So wiping the glue off. And there we go. I'm going to do the other 2 wedges now. Right, and there we go. So that's all 9 irons done. I've got the wedges through to the 5 iron. All done, ready. I'll leave it an hour and I can put the grips on and prep the ferrules, and there we go. How are we getting on? Fashionable, I know, but you can't you can't gotta be safe with your eyes. You only get 2 of them. Right, okay, so heads are all glued. I've now got the specs. They're all standard length, so I'm going to cut them. I cut 1/8 under to get the grip size on. So I've marked them all up, and I'm going to start cutting them. So here we go. Right, there we go. So that's them all cut down to the wedges, ready to put the grips on. We're going to put 2 layers of tape on them. Right, okay, so time to put the grip on. So we put the golf club in the grip station, and then measure. I'm putting 2 layers on, so I'm going to go from the top, and I put a line, so by the time the grip's stretched it'll be on perfectly. I use brown thickening tape, just really smooth. Cut off the excess, put that round. Get another one, don't put it in the same place, otherwise you'll get a ridge, so I move it around a little bit. And then that's 2 layers. And then we've got the grip tape. Again, don't put it in the same place, put it around so you don't get any ridges. Put that on. Seal up the end. Pop the grip on. Measure it's all lined up. Give it a tap. Wipe off the excess and check that everything's lined up with your line and the grip. And there we go. On to the next one. Right, I now got to turn down the ferrule, so there's a little bit of a lip, so I have to turn down the ferrule. I'm going to use a belt for this. Okay, so that's all done now, nice and flush to the hosel, and just going to use acetone to make that all nice and shiny. So I'm going to do the other clubs now and I'll show you the acetone. Right, so now the ferrules are turned down, I need to shine them up, so I put a cotton pad on here, put some acetone on it, and then you get the golf club, you give it a twirl, and now it's all shiny. There we go. Alright, so there we go, it's gone through the cleaner, nice and clean, ferrule's nice and shiny, job done.